Okay, stop. Before you skip this video, I need you to hear something that NVIDIA has never publicly admitted. There is a chip inside your GPU that was deliberately crippled, and it has nothing to do with how much you paid for it. GTX owners, you have been told your card is outdated. RTX owners, you have been told you bought the future. But here is what both groups got wrong. The real story of RTX versus GTX is not a hardware comparison. It is a calculated power move that changed the entire gaming industry forever. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand something that most GPU reviewers are either too scared or too lazy to say out loud. Let us go back to 2018, because that is when the war started. NVIDIA had been running the GTX line for years, and it was working. GTX 1080 Ti was the king of gaming. Everybody loved it. Frame rates were insane, games looked incredible, and budget options like the GTX 1060 were selling millions of units worldwide. So why did NVIDIA blow it all up and introduce something completely different? The answer is 3 letters: RTX. RTX stands for Ray Tracing Extreme, and when NVIDIA announced it, the gaming world split into 2 camps instantly. Camp 1 said this is the future of gaming visuals, and every game will look like a movie. Camp 2 said this is a marketing gimmick designed to make you throw away a perfectly good GPU. 6 years later, both camps still exist, and weirdly, both of them are right. Here is what most comparison videos skip because it requires actually understanding the hardware. GTX cards are built around something called CUDA cores, which are basically thousands of tiny processors all working together to calculate every pixel in your game. Think of CUDA cores like a massive factory with 10,000 workers, and every single worker is doing math. Fast math, simple math, but math that tells your screen exactly what color every pixel should be, 60 times a second. GTX 10 series had up to 3,584 CUDA cores, and GTX 16 series pushed that even further with efficiency improvements. And for pure rasterization, which is the traditional way games have been rendered since the 90s, GTX was an absolute monster. Now here is where RTX flips everything. RTX cards have CUDA cores too, but NVIDIA added 2 completely new types of processing units that GTX never had and never will have. The first is called RT cores, and these are dedicated hardware units that do one thing only: calculate how light bounces in real time. Ray tracing has existed in film and animation for decades, but it was always done overnight on massive render farms because it requires insane computing power. What RT cores do is take that same process and attempt to run it 60 times a second while you are actually playing. The second new addition is Tensor Cores, and this is where NVIDIA's plan gets really interesting and honestly a little terrifying. Tensor Cores are AI accelerators, and they power a technology called DLSS, which stands for Deep Learning Supersampling. DLSS uses an AI model trained on thousands of game images to make your game look like it is running at a higher resolution than it actually is. Think of it like this: instead of your GPU rendering 4 million pixels, it renders 1 million, and then AI fills in the rest with educated guesses. And the insane part is that in most cases, you genuinely cannot tell the difference. So now that you understand the architecture, let us talk about what actually happens when you sit down and play. In raw rasterization performance, meaning traditional games without ray tracing, a GTX 1080 Ti and an RTX 2080 are disturbingly close in benchmarks. We are talking about a gap so small that in some titles, the GTX card actually wins outright. The GTX 1080 Ti launched at $700. The RTX 2080 launched at $800. And in several benchmarks, it barely pulled ahead. The GTX community looked at those numbers and said, see, RTX is a ripoff. And they were not wrong about the math, but they were completely wrong about the future. Because what they did not account for is that DLSS and ray tracing were not features for 2018. They were features for 2022 and beyond. Fast forward to today, and DLSS 3 with Frame Generation is doing things that would have sounded like science fiction 5 years ago. It is literally generating entire frames of video using AI, frames that the GPU never actually rendered, and inserting them into your game to double your perceived frame rate. A game running at 60 frames per second with DLSS Frame Generation enabled is suddenly displaying at 120 frames per second, and it looks completely real. GTX owners cannot access this, not because their hardware is too slow, because they literally do not have Tensor Cores. That is not a driver issue. That is not something a software update can ever fix. That silicon was never placed on the die, and it never will be. Let us talk about something that almost nobody brings up enough: VRAM, which is the memory that lives directly on your GPU. Modern games in 2024 and 2025 are absolutely hungry for VRAM in a way that was completely unthinkable even 3 years ago. Games like Alan Wake 2, Cyberpunk 2077 with path tracing enabled, and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on PC are regularly consuming 10 to 12 gigabytes of VRAM at high settings. The GTX 1060, which was the single most popular gaming GPU for years according to Steam hardware surveys, has only 6 gigabytes. The GTX 1080 Ti, the absolute flagship of its generation, has 11 gigabytes, which honestly holds up reasonably well. But mid-range GTX cards are now running into a wall that has nothing to do with processing speed and everything to do with simply running out of room to store texture data. RTX 30 series and 40 series cards pushed VRAM significantly higher, with even mid-range options like the RTX 3060 coming with 12 gigabytes as standard. This was not an accident. NVIDIA saw what was coming with modern game engines and designed accordingly. Now here is the part that affects most people watching this video: money. Because if you are choosing between RTX and GTX right now, you are almost certainly shopping the used market. And this is where the conversation gets genuinely interesting. A used GTX 1080 Ti today costs somewhere between $80 and $150, depending on where you find it. A used RTX 2080 costs somewhere between $150 and $250. At those prices, the GTX 1080 Ti is one of the most insane value propositions in PC gaming history. If you are playing esports titles, competitive shooters, or games from before 2022, the GTX card will give you an almost identical experience at 1080p for literally half the price. But if you are planning to play the newest AAA releases for the next 2 to 3 years, the RTX card's DLSS access and VRAM headroom starts to matter more and more with each new game launch. The honest answer that most channels will not give you is this: it depends entirely on what you are building the PC for. And anyone who gives you a one-size-fits-all answer is either selling you something or not thinking hard enough. If you are streaming or doing any kind of content creation, this part is specifically for you. RTX cards include NVENC hardware encoding, but specifically the newer AV1-capable encoder version that is dramatically better than what GTX offered. For streamers, this means you can run a high-quality stream without it eating into your gaming performance the way software encoding destroys your frame times. GTX cards have an older NVENC version that is significantly worse in compression efficiency, which means either lower stream quality or larger file sizes for the same content. For video editors, Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve both accelerate their AI-powered features using Tensor Cores, which means certain color grading, noise reduction, and upscaling effects run dramatically faster on RTX than they ever could on GTX. If your GPU is also your work tool, the RTX advantage expands well beyond gaming into a completely different category. And now I want to talk about something that is going to sound completely off topic, but stay with me because this is where it gets genuinely wild. Tensor Cores. The AI chips inside every RTX card were marketed for gaming features like DLSS, but they are also the reason RTX cards became the entry point for running local AI models on your own personal computer. Tools like Stable Diffusion, local large language models, and AI image upscalers all leverage Tensor Cores to do their processing. If you have an RTX card sitting in your PC right now, you already own a personal AI accelerator that professionals were paying thousands of dollars for just a few years ago. GTX owners cannot access any of this because Tensor Cores were never on the silicon. This is the exact point where the RTX versus GTX debate stops being about gaming frame rates and starts being about what kind of computing future you are choosing to step into. So let me give you the actual verdict that cuts through all the noise and marketing. If you are a budget builder buying used hardware and you play mostly competitive multiplayer games, older releases, or indie titles, a GTX 1080 Ti or GTX 1070 Ti is genuinely brilliant value right now, and you should not feel pressured to upgrade by anyone. If you are building a new system today or buying hardware that you want to last 4 to 5 years without feeling completely obsolete, you should be starting at RTX 3000 1060 and nothing below it. If you do any kind of video work, streaming, or AI experimentation alongside gaming, RTX is not just better, it is a completely different category of tool that GTX cannot replicate. And if someone tells you that GTX is dead and you need to upgrade immediately, check whether they have an affiliate link in the description, because a GTX 1080 Ti can still push over 60 frames in most games at 1080p today in 2025. Here is the thing I want you to walk away with after this video. NVIDIA's move from GTX to RTX was not just a product launch. It was the exact moment the GPU stopped being a gaming accessory and started becoming an AI processing unit that also happens to play games on the side. The ray tracing was never really about making shadows look prettier in your game. It was about training the market to accept AI-processed visuals so that by the time DLSS Frame Generation arrived, nobody would stop to question it. You are watching AI-generated frames right now inside the games you play, and the majority of players have absolutely no idea it is happening. GTX was the last generation of pure graphics hardware built purely for rendering. RTX was the first generation of AI-assisted graphics hardware, and everything coming after it, from RTX 50 series to whatever NVIDIA releases next, will only push that line further and further. The question was never which GPU is better. The question was always, which era of computing do you want to live in? If this video changed the way you think about your GPU, hit subscribe, because the next video is going to break down something even more uncomfortable about how NVIDIA controls the entire GPU market in ways that should genuinely concern every PC gamer alive right now.